You know that kid in calculus class who'd just stare at a problem, write nothing down, and then just scribble 42 at the bottom?
Oh, yeah. And somehow it's the right answer.
And it is. That's basically the state of a lot of deep search AI right now. We're getting these correct answers, but they often come from, shortcut exploitation or just lucky hallucinations.
Right. We have no idea if the model actually understood the question or just stumbled onto the solution, which is pretty terrifying if you want AI to be reliable.
Well, a new paper from Tsinghua University and Zipu AI called Chaining the Evidence is trying to fix that, to force the model to stop being that lazy student.
And actually show its work.
Exactly. They've developed this whole grading system, CAR-RR, and a new training framework called CGRPO.
And this really gets at the fundamental flaw in how we usually train these agents.
You mean the reward system? Because standard reinforcement learning, it's all about outcome rewards, right? It's binary.
It's just, did you get it right? Yes or no? And that's the whole issue. That kind of reward is way too sparse for complex reasoning.
That doesn't capture the process at all.
Not at all. So the AI just learns to scan for a few keywords, make a good statistical guess, and, ignore all the important details.
The paper has that Tybolite case, which is just a perfect example of this.
It's such a great example. So the prompt asked for the mass of an object from a meteor event, but it had all these constraints. It had to be over a Southeast Asian nation in the mid-2010s and linked to a prehistoric collision.
That is incredibly specific.
It is. And the standard AI model, it just saw Thailand and meteor, completely ignored the dates and context, and it just pulled a number from a totally different event.
The 36 tons number.
66 tons.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be the right answer for the actual query, but the entire reasoning process was a complete hallucination.
It got the gold star for the wrong reason.
Precisely.
So that fragility is exactly what this new framework, CAR-RR, is designed to fix. It stands for Citation-Aware Rubric Rewards.
Yeah, it's basically a process grader. Instead of just checking the final answer, it breaks the entire thing down into 3 steps.
Okay, so what's the first one?
It starts with decomposition. The AI has to break the complex question down into like a checklist of smaller atomic claims.
So it's generating its own little premises that it has to go out and prove.
Exactly. Then it moves to the citation check.
Yeah.
For every one of those little claims, it has to find and cite a specific URL. It can't just say it was a meteor.
It has to prove which meteor and show the source.
Right. And finally, there's connectivity. All those facts, all those citations, have to form a connected graph, an evidence chain, that logically leads to the final answer.
It's like connecting the dots. You don't get credit for the last dot unless you actually drew the lines between all the other ones.
Which brings us to the training mechanism, CGRPO. This is really the engine that makes it all work.
And this is where it gets clever, because just grading the process isn't enough, right?
Right. CGRPO combines the old binary outcome reward with this new detailed rubric reward. But here's the twist.
Okay.
It assigns that rubric reward score only to the attempts where the final answer was also correct.
Wait, so let me get this straight. If the AI writes a beautiful, perfectly cited essay, but gets the final number wrong, it gets 0 points for its beautiful essay.
0. It prevents the model from becoming, a bureaucracy that generates perfect paperwork but fails the actual mission. You have to be right and you have to prove it.
And the results seem huge. The paper says that on benchmark like BrowseComp, these agents, they just stop taking shortcuts.
They do. They search deeper, they cite more pages, they actually verify the constraints before answering.
But the thing that got me was the generalization. They tested it on these open-ended PhD-level research tasks.
Deep research, yeah.
And the model wasn't even explicitly trained for that level of difficulty, was it?
No. But because it had learned the discipline of verification on simpler facts, it started applying that same rigor to much more complex problems. It was actually beating proprietary models.
Just because it had better study habits.
You could put it that way, yeah. It moves us from an AI that guesses to an AI that can build a verifiable argument.
Which kind of leaves us with a pretty heavy question, doesn't it? If an AI can prove every single step of its logic with a URL and a score, while we humans are still running mostly on, gut feelings.
At what point does the AI's black box become more transparent than our own minds?
That is the thought that's going to keep me up tonight.